Good evening. We'll call this City Council meeting Tuesday, May 19, 2026 to order at 6 p.m. If you'd all rise for the pledge, please. Okay, we're going to do the presentations first. Item 1, presentations. I think I'll just go down to the side podium and do the first 3. Give me just a minute. Item 1, presentations. Item 1.1, presentation to canvass the results of the 2026 kids election declaring Biscuit as Seabrook's favorite pet. Today is a very special day in Seabrook history. Last year, Seabrook held its very first kids election, giving our youngest citizens the chance to experience the excitement of voting and civic participation. But this year, for the very first time, we opened the election to nominations for Seabrook pet owners, inviting pets from across our community to campaign for the title of Seabrook's favorite pet. And let me tell you what a pet election season it has been. After a highly competitive pet primary, only 3 more paragraphs, Biscuit emerged from a field of truly worthy opponents. We saw tail wags, adorable campaign photos, and enough puppy charm to fill City Hall twice over. Biscuit campaigned proudly against several wonderful dogs who each earned the admiration of our staff and our community, and every candidate gave it their all. But in the end, the kids of Seabrook made their voices heard in a tight race. It is my great honor as Mayor of Seabrook to officially declare Biscuit the 2026 favorite pet of Seabrook. Biscuit has shown outstanding qualities of leadership, friendliness, and excellence in treat acceptance, especially chicken, which is her favorite. Throughout her campaign, she inspired smiles, brought neighbors together, and proved that she could be a loyal companion to our city. And now, as she begins her important year of public service, we are proud to present Biscuit with her official certificate of election, her 2026 Seabrook's favorite pet shirt, and a collection of treats and toys to help support her in the busy months ahead, because serving the public is hard work. Please join me in giving a huge round of applause and maybe a few belly rubs to Biscuit, our newly elected 2026 favorite pet of Seabrook. All right. Item 1.2, Mayor Sweeney to issue a proclamation declaring the week of May 17th as Public Works Week in the city of Seabrook. Whereas whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and the well-being of the people of Seabrook, and whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Seabrook to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities, and whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association, now, therefore, I, Jim Sweeney, Mayor of the City of Seabrook, Texas, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17, 2026 through May 23, 2026 as Public Works Week in the City of Seabrook, Texas. In witness whereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the city to be affixed hereto this, the 19th day of May, 2026. Who wants to take a picture? Everybody. Another picture. One more. Yes. One more. Okay, item 1.3, Mayor Sweeney to issue a proclamation declaring the week of May 17th as Emergency Medical Services Week in the City of Seabrook. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service in Seabrook, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the week of May 17, 2026 through May 23, 2026 has been declared as National Emergency Medical Services Week, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week in the City of Seabrook. Now, therefore, I, Jim Sweeney, Mayor of the City of Seabrook, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17, 2026 as Emergency Medical Services Week. We'll take another picture. Yeah. So that was fun. We'll do that every week, I think. All right, we're going to go to public comments first, Paul.
You hold it down, maybe?
Oh, no, you're right. No, you're right. I'm wrong. We changed the order. We changed the order. All the presentations first. Item 1.4, presentation of the biannual report from Seabrook Economic Development Corporation. Paul Dunphy, EDC President.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. Thank you for your time this evening. This is the mid-year report to City Council from the Economic Development Corporation. We have 5 citizens on our board. 2 are elected, and we are all placed on by a City Council. The purpose of the corporation is to use economic development resources to encourage and promote the general economic welfare of the city and its residents and businesses as authorized by the act as it may be amended. Obviously, we follow multiple state laws on how we can fund and what we can promote and provide funding for. EDC works multiple goals, and over the years we've moved them around and changed them and try to make sure that we are focused on things that the city wants and with the City Council, so that we're working in conjunction with the City Council. Number 1 is promote branding, image, enhance communication, and key marketing initiatives. Number 2 is focus on development and promotion of Old Seabrook. Number 3, provide guidance to Seabrook City Council on economic development decisions and future land use. Number 4 is review potential expansion incentives for overall business development incentive for local relocation and new redevelopment, including district-specific incentives. Number 5, recommend to the city improvement programs through the CIP capital project programs such as streets, drainage, and other infrastructure improvements that benefit business development. Support initiatives that promote the redevelopment of business corridor along State Highway 146 in Red Bluff. So let's go through our goals real quick. I'm not going to read it all, but I'll do some highlights. Goal 1, obviously, we're going to promote Seabrook and their branding as best we can within our requirements and restrictions for funding. Goal number 2 is focus on the promotion of Old Seabrook. That's been a focus on this city for many, many years, trying to keep its quaint and eclectic look and feel, but at the same time, help businesses that are in Old Seabrook be able to have parking and have access with people coming into town. And it's difficult if you drive around Old Seabrook. Some of the roads are very thin with the ditches and things, so it's been a challenge over the years. To do urban transformation, green, lively, and thriving social community, which Seabrook definitely has that, family-centric, and the unique landscape character. We do have, obviously coming up, we've been working on several plans on the remodel of the old waste treatment plant. So that's going to be, over the next couple of years, an extreme change in our city for the better. And it's taken many, many years from seeing our danger with Ike and the destruction of our plant, and luckily it was not destroyed because it would have kept us out. If the sewer plant's not working, we would never have been able to come back. So we realized that, started working on it several mayors ago and council, and we were fortunate to get $33 million bond funding from the federal government, and was able to rebuild and move our plant, which was extreme. For infrastructure, it was extremely important, and then now it's given us a green space that's going to be down on the water. Goals 3, 4, 5, incentive policy. Again, we've over the years really tried to work and pay attention to what council is looking at and trying to do, and trying to weave that in with what EDC can support and fund. So we do try to pay attention, and obviously with the 2 representatives on our board, get what council wants to do for the better benefit of the city, and then we try to work in that direction. The business corridor along 146 in Red Bluff, obviously 146 in the last 5 years has been under construction. It's been a big part of our community. We've been working on State 146, I would say probably 30 years. I know that 23 of it I've been around doing things. Probably 18 years ago, the city put $800,000 away for loss of sales tax. So the things, as I've learned over the years, take time to make things happen in the city. And you as councilman, you're going to have little pieces, but overall, if you look at the big picture and the big future, it's important to focus on that because things don't happen overnight in this area, in government in general. Goal number 4. Support initiatives that promote the redevelopment of Business Corridor 146. Obviously, Seabrook Town Center has started. It's been another long process from moving a water tank to trading land, making that piece of property desirable to a developer. Multiple developers have looked at it. Now we finally have broken ground, and it's going to be a significant improvement to our city and obviously people passing by. Goal 6, capital improvement. We recently, staff did a review of about 10 different cities in our area and in Texas and where they spend EDC money and how they spend EDC money, and we tried to see if there was an alignment that we needed to do, things we could do differently. CIP benefits the community. It's quality of life items. It's walking trails, it's streets, it's Highway 146 improvement, the Seabrook custom logo, the sailboats, the bollards in the road where you see our city to the south doesn't have those accoutrements, the lighted stars. Those are things that EDC and City Council have been involved with from day one, working with hiring consultants to how to work with TxDOT and get those kind of things done. And that's what we've been doing. We have directional sign project coming up. We have a building grant that's a federal matching grant. If we're awarded, it could be up to $800,000, $200,000 supported by EDC, focusing on landscaping, things like that. There's lots of things going on, and we try to stay focused on the things and on also the wants and needs of the community through City Council. As far as an active incentives update, we have the Barge 295 funding. We have Seabrook Retail, which is the old floppy pets area that we're redoing the fascia, and the Edge, Seabrook Center, obviously are all funded projects that we're involved in right now. Projects paid in fiscal year 2026, the fascia, the Miramar Center, Fay and Fay, which is a gas line to that potential restaurant that is still trying to be leased on the water. Merlion was some sales tax final payment reimbursement. Soul Freak Holding was a coffee shop driveway improvement on Main Street. Margarita Jones is another funding that we were involved in. Projects approved, reimbursement pending is $3.8 million. Again, that fascia front, Palmaderos, neighborhood tap, that's on the Edge. Those are some other projects that we're working on. Some other big items that are coming up in the city on the north end, which, I know it's controversial, I guess. We have a north industrial side of the city that is industrial. It has a new railroad track, it has a port, it has a highway, and there's land there that has been barren of lack of revenue to our community. And promoting and supporting the warehouses is tax revenue that we will get for the city to pay for EMS, pay for police, pay for fire, instead of us as single house owners paying for these services. So I am a promoter of the industrial park in the north, and I hope that the council also follows that. Another one is the Quiet Warehouse, another warehouse on the north end. We have multiple website process. We have the EDC website, Analysis, 3,600 new users in the last couple months. Visit Seabrook website, 14,000 new users. Facebook social media, 87,000 views. LinkedIn, 2,800 impressions. New or coming projects, the Dutchman and Grill Oyster Bar, which is opened up on the north side where Zane's was, the Freezer Warehouse, as we spoke of, Quiet Warehouse, as we spoke of. Mavis Tires is possibly coming, a car wash possibly coming. We've done the Soul Freak as a new primary care medical center. We're working with an office possibility. Cake Snacks and Cake Bar, and the Modern Bay Furniture and Mattress. These are all businesses that we are working diligently to promote and get going so that it can improve our community partnerships. These are organizations that we are part of, fund, Clear Lake Chamber of Commerce, Bay Area, Houston, and the Economic Alliance. These are all larger EDC-driven organizations that support and promote our city and help us do different projects. Other larger communities is SBDC, SBA, and SCORE. Again, things that we try to introduce to potential businesses that come to town and want support. There's other things to do. EDC events, obviously we supported and were part of the Fleet Week, which was a humongous success. Thank you to the staff. Obviously did an excellent job. It was a great community event evening supporting our military. And every year we try to show off one of our premier events in Seabrook, which is the Keels and Wheels at Lakewood Yacht Club. And we try to get developers and other cities to come see our event, see how our city is, talk about our upcoming projects and why they need to try to promote and come to City of Seabrook. Every year we do a business of the year. This year was Seabrook Cheese Company. They're very active in the community. They're always willing to promote and help us and do lots of different things. So this year they have been chosen as business of the year, and we're proud of that. EDC sales tax, we always are conservative with our numbers. As of, I think, other than 2024, we were just almost the same, but as you can see, the green is actual, the blue is the budget. We've always excelled. Seabrook did very well through the 146 expansion. We've been very, very fortunate on many levels of having the cash flow that was needed. 2025 expenditures. The debt on the tank, we had some bonds that the city, we paid for the moving of the tank, and so we obviously, our largest expenditure is the payment of that debt. The second one is the transfer to the city, which is for staff expenses, the building, things like that are reimbursed. And then the next one would be the incentives and the projects. So other than the debt and the cost of doing business in Seabrook, the two next one are projects, incentive projects. Moving forward, the strategic plan. Somewhat similar goals: support existing local businesses and industry, business marketing and recruitment, quality of life and infrastructure, communication, and Old Seabrook. Those are the things that we're focusing on this year and into the future. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Anybody? Well, thank you, Paul. Well done.
Thank you very much for your time.
All right, on to item 1.5, presentation by Visit Seabrook on the Seabrook Fleet Week drone show and event. Amy Blackwell.
Good evening, Council. For those of you who may not know, my name is Amy Blackwell. I'm the Special Events and Tourism Coordinator here at the City of Seabrook. I was also the event manager when the City of Seabrook presented Fleet Week, the drone show, on Monday, April 20th on Main Street from 11 to 9. Tonight's presentation will provide a complete picture of the event and its planning, partnerships, operations, impact, and overall success. Our goals and hot fund objectives were to celebrate Seabrook, commemorate history, educate and entertain, and honor our heroes. We first and foremost wanted to showcase Seabrook and its waterfront with a free event on Main Street. We wanted to pay tribute to the 250th birthday of America and the U.S. Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. We wanted to present creative and educational activities, displays, and performances, and bring an all-day event that brought Fleet Week Houston to Seabrook. We wanted to deliver a memorable and highly visual grand finale to the day's celebration through a drone show and celebrate that with imagery honoring patriotism, gratitude of service, and iconic symbols of Seabrook. We want to thank our sponsors. Thanks to the EDC, who started off with a battleship level sponsorship of $10,000. Our commander level sponsorships were Cobb Finley and HS Development Group at $5,000 apiece. Rotary Club of Seabrook came in with $2,500 at the sailboat level, and they helped provide food to help feed the military in attendance. Our in-kind sponsorships were goods and services valued at a $1,500 minimum, and they included parking lots, sanitation, equipment, decor, and family activities. Our market was handled by Sky Sanchez of Brunch Party Sip and Shop Market. You can see here a variety of items and goods that were for sale. We had a total of 22 vendors, and our food vendors included 2 local favorites, Mario's and Damn Fine. We had a total of 8 of those. Family-friendly activities. Thanks in part to several of our community organizations, including the Sunset Companion Committee. We had a care package assembly, which was extremely successful. They were able to hand out over 200 care packages. Jewelry making was sponsored by the Yachty Gras Foundation. Face painting was sponsored by Children's Lighthouse, who had their staff painting children's faces. I saw plenty of those walking around. They were very cute. And then the Seabrook Association was on board with Seabrook Rocks to handle the rock painting. You can see some of our military members participating in those there. These were our live action highlights. The flyovers kicked it off with the FA-18 Super Hornets and the UE helicopters. The Navy drill team captivated the audience with a high-precision exhibition of discipline featuring intricate rifle maneuvers, spins, and tosses. We got some good pictures up there of that. Oops. The honor ceremony and wreath laying at the Bay Area Veterans Memorial paid tribute to service members, past and present, and featured the Harris County Sheriff's Office Color Guard, the Marine Band, and speeches by Major Jarrett Loftus and Mayor Jim Sweeney. The Pride Navy Band Southeast brought the energy up and encouraged audience participation and dancing. Visiting active duty military, police officers, firefighters, and EMS personnel were treated to a meal at the Seabrook Galley, a dedicated seating area where Tookie Seafood hosted a fish fry, thanks in part to a sponsorship from the Rotary Club of Seabrook. The drone show, the title event. Just a little bit of background on Sky Elements. They are a veteran-owned Texas-based company. They're known for being on America's Got Talent. They put together a drone show of 250 drones, 12 custom designs that you can see here with themed music. It was a 12.5-minute show, and it offered a unique opportunity to combine entertainment, innovation, and storytelling in a way that appealed to every attendee. It became the visual heart of the evening and generated strong audience engagement both in person and online. It also created highly shareable content that extended Seabrook's visibility beyond the event itself. Next up, you will see our advertising and promotion strategy. Our efforts focused on creating local awareness and encouraging visitation from the entire Bay Area. Strategies included event graphics and branding. You can see the logo there that carries over throughout all of our advertising. City of Seabrook calendar page, Visit Seabrook landing page, 2 paid social media ad campaigns that ran within a 50-mile radius of Seabrook. It was a sizzle reel video and an event page on our City of Seabrook government sites. There was cross-promotion with Fleet Week Houston, media engagement, and business outreach. You can see some of the samples here, as well as we had a email blast that went out 3 times by Bay Area Houston. I know they're a big supporter. And the Clear Lake Chamber of Commerce ran 7 posts, 4 that we created and then 3 that they created on their own. Our social media advertising cost, we spent a total of $3,019 and came in under budget at 56%. Up here you can see our reach for the sizzle reel was $198,000. Reach for event promotion was a little under $100,000 at 96. Engagements was pretty high, was 68.9, and then over here 3.7. Reactions and shares. These were our promotional posts. This was the event creation. We did call outs for vendors and sponsors, did a special one on April 1st for the Military Family Month. And then we had press releases, and on the day of the event, a know before you go, so that the community knew what roads were closed, who all was going to be there, and the schedule of events. Press releases, these were our most popular engagements. We had one that went out by the city on April 10th, and one that went out by Ariete Public Affairs on April 14th. Those yielded 4 segments on KPRC 2 News Today's morning broadcast, interviews with Mayor Jim Sweeney and our Director of Seabrook Economic Development Corporation, Rick Guerrero. The 2 other segments featured some of the military that was in attendance. These were our media mentions. We were listed as part of a lot of the calendar listings that went out. It covered all of the major media in Houston, as well as Houston Public Media, I-45 Now, Galveston Bay Buzz, and South Houston Moms. I can do a Google search right now and still find more that we were mentioned. So there were a lot of, the drone show was quite a unique event, so it was mentioned quite often. Fleet Week Houston mentioned us as one of the can't miss events during the activities there. Behind the scenes, if you've ever been part of such a big event, you know that a lot goes into this. Strong collaboration between multiple departments here and off-site. The team met weekly starting in February to plan, discuss logistics, and air out any concerns. Each of these played an important role in ensuring the event operated safely, efficiently, and professionally. Key contributors including our Public Affairs Department, our Public Works Department, Police, Fire, and EMS, Max Gray Productions, who handled all of the production of the event, Fleet Week Houston, the U.S. military, Harris County Sheriff's Office, and volunteers and community stakeholders. This is a rundown of our financial summary. The total budget for this event was $123,265. Revenue from sponsors, food vendors, and beverage sales exceeded expectations by $930, earning a 3.6% over the prediction. Total spending was $114,763, yielding a budget saving of 7%. You can see that we saved money on advertising, rentals, and food and beverage. This is a rundown of the revenue, sponsors, food vendors, and beverage sales for $26,940. Our expenditures, the top 3 were production, the drone show, and the rentals. Community impact. I can't say enough how successful this event was, how the positive comments that came in on Facebook, in person. I mean, I know some of us had people come up to us and just tell us what a great event it was. Comments, photos, and videos were shared during and after the event, helping organically extend Seabrook's reach across societal platforms. I know that the following weekend at Keels and Wheels, several of the community members came up and talked about what a great event it was and how they want us to do more like that here in the community. So instead of dropping the mic, we're going to drop the anchor here. We can see that all of our goals were met. Main Street was on display. The military was appreciated. They really enjoyed the care packages, the honor ceremony, the Navy band members. and the military that were just walking around. They just all seemed so happy. Some of them were taking pictures with the kids, the family, the dogs, and even the pony that the sheriff's office brought out. Tookies made it possible to feed 420 plus military personnel with their fish fry at our private seating area. Kids and families had plenty to do. We had lots of equipment displays from our own Seabrook Police and Fire departments. And then we had 4 of our local restaurants band together to provide either food at the food truck or drink options at the wine and beer garden that Merlion and Seabrook put on. We had attendance of 1,800 to 2,000. We think there may have been more at the time of the drone show. So that was a good showcase of Seabrook. Most importantly, it demonstrated the value of investing in experiences that bring residents together and encourage visitors to discover everything that Seabrook has to offer. In closing, the Fleet Week Drone Show proved that Seabrook is a capable location for tourism development and advanced broader goals related to destination marketing, community identity, and economic activity. In closing, I just want to say that the Fleet Week Drone Show was one single waterfront experience. Imagine what we can be done if we all band together and do another one like this. So thank you for your time. I'm here if you have any questions.
Anybody?
Just wanted to tell you thank you. It was wonderful. Everybody enjoyed it. What a great job.
Thank you.
Yep, knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
Bob.
Thank everybody for their help. It took a village. It took our city, everybody coming together. So we really appreciate it. And the staff appreciated everything that was done. So.
Thank you, Amy. Okay, on to the next one.
That's it.
Good? Is that microphone on?
It probably went off. They're
Oh,
gonna have to push it.
okay. Public comments and announcements. At this time, we'd like to listen to any member of the audience on any subject matter, whether or not that item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes for each speaker, shall be limited to city business or city-related business or matters of general public interest, and shall not include any personal attacks or abusive language. Any disruptive or abusive behavior will result in the removal of the speaker from the council chamber. All public remarks shall be addressed to the chair. Comments should not be directed toward individual council members, city staff, or other members of the public. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, members may not discuss or take action on any item that has not been posted on the agenda. When your name is called, please come to the podium and state your name and address clearly into the microphone before making your comments. Thank you. I have one additional comment. Before public comment begins, I want to remind everyone that residents absolutely have the right to raise concerns about city business, including projects and expenditures. Public comment is an opportunity for the council to hear from the public, but it is not a question and answer session or a forum for council deliberation on matters not posted for action. I ask that speakers remain respectful, avoid personal accusations, and direct comments to the council as a body. Thank you. We have one speaker tonight, and then when Joe's finished, I'll ask if anybody else didn't get a chance to sign up. Joe McCall.
So I have a few questions tonight. One, I hope everybody's read TOMA, Texas Open Meetings Act, especially Section 551. So the money that was in a drawer, and I brought up last meeting, people just want the answer. Why was it left in a drawer? Why is that happening? And what's being done about it? Is that being solved? Is that taken care of? No one knows. The pool contract. The pool contract was for Swimming Pools Chemical Supply Equipment Company. They're an LLC. I was on council when we discussed this. They were going to just like tear it down, look into what they could do, that type of thing. Well, this was a $4.5 million contract, and per the records from the city of Seabrook, it doesn't look like it was followed correctly. This makes a huge deal to the taxpayer. So the citizens of Seabrook, and because it was on a bond, if there's any changes whatsoever, it has to go back to the people. That didn't happen here. That's per your records. That's why we want open records all the time, so we can look at this. The fire EMS contract. Workers walked off the job. That was it. That's all that was ever said. Why did they walk off the job? Well, when you look into the paperwork, you find out that the company didn't pay federal taxes, state taxes to the state of Texas, and it didn't pay their workers. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Why wasn't that looked into before they signed a contract? The fire tower contract, great that that's done, I'm happy. But what the voters voted on was a lot bigger pad of cement. We didn't get that. Why? So the people want to know. And again, if that changed, it has to go back to the voter because that was on a bond. GovWell contract. This was the software that was supposed to be integrated in with the building inspector's software. Well, guess what? It wasn't integrated and it doesn't work. So that's a big deal. So why are we dealing with that? And it hasn't been addressed and people want to know. The farmers market, huge success. This past weekend, the whole place was packed. It was awesome. That's a positive. So let's keep that going. But there's a negative. The city manager doesn't want that. The city manager is still against it. That's crazy. It was such a good event. Okay, there's been a lack of transparency. Now all of a sudden, deleting videos after 2-year mark. So a video of this meeting that we talked about with the pool contract, the video part has been deleted. Now, I want to be very transparent. It's legal for the city to delete a video at the 2-year mark. But why? It's on YouTube, it's free, it doesn't cost the city any money to keep it, so you should keep it. So that brings me to the audit. The audit that's going on right now is an annual, every year you have to do this, every city does. Our city's late. Okay, and it was blamed on, we had all these problems and issues. Well, you have a city manager who's been here 14 years. How do you not expect the unexpected? You got to be able to prepare for that just because the financial guy left. So the big deal about that is this audit needs to happen. It needs to be separate and complete. And then because it was also said that none of these policies and procedures were being followed, that if no one finds out, you can't, you're not going to get caught.
Thank you, Joe. Take your seat, please. Is there anyone who didn't have an opportunity to speak who would like to speak, who didn't get a chance to sign up? Hearing none. Item 2.1, Mayor, City Council, and/or members of the city staff may make announcements about city and community events. We have a new announcement person this week who was voluntold.
Good evening, everyone. So we have special events upcoming. The city offices will be closed on Monday, May 25th, 2026, in observance of Memorial Day. They will be closed all day on that day. On Monday, May 25th, we will also be remembering our fallen heroes. So please join us at the Bay Area Memorial on Memorial Day for a solemn ceremony to honor and remember the brave men and women who served and sacrificed for our country. The time for that is from 9 to 10 a.m. at the Bay Area Veterans Memorial. Hurricane season begins Monday, June 1st, 2026. We have information on the Seabrook, Texas website, seabrooktexas.gov/prepare. Early voting begins. Early voting begins for the runoff election on June the 1st through June the 9th. Election information is also on the city website, seabrooktexas.gov/elections. And Election Day. Election Day for the runoff is on June 13th. That's a Saturday. You can find more information about that also at the elections section on the city website. To learn more about and see other upcoming events and happenings, visit www.seabrooktexas.gov and follow the City of Seabrook on social media. One additional mention, the hotel occupancy tax or the hot tax sponsorship applications are open through June the 12th. And of course, these are events that bring overnight visitors to Seabrook lodging facilities. Those folks are encouraged to apply at seabrooktexas.gov/hot request. That's it.
Is there any other announcements, Jared?
Yeah, I just want to, tonight at 7 o'clock, I have to leave to attend the Deer Park Council meeting, so if I could up and leave, don't take it personal.
totally taking it personal.
Bill, you had something?
Yep, so the Seabrook Cemetery, we have, I believe, 36 veterans buried there. So on Memorial Day at 2 p.m., we're gonna have a little bit of ceremony to honor them, placing flags on their graveside. And that will be followed by 3 p.m. national moment of remembrance. So we'll just take a moment to remember those veterans. So everybody is welcome to join. Small ceremony, we'll have snacks, and my son's gonna actually play taps on the saxophone. So that should be interesting, but yeah, please join if you can.
Very nice, thank you. Summer?
Yes, please. So you saw that EDC mentioned some of the organizations that we're a part of. So I have been attending several of those. One was an airport update. The systems of our airport, I thought it was going to be really boring, but it was actually incredible. I found out that they're actually trying to have little electronic helicopters / flying taxis to go from Ellington to IAH. There's rankings on the cleanest airports. Hobby Airport was ranked one of the cleanest in North America. It was also ranked very highly for its food. So never thought about how you eat at an airport, but I thought that was pretty cool. There's now a direct flight to Rome. Imagine Fertitta had something to do with that, but yeah. So we now have a direct flight from IAH to Rome. So there was some pretty cool stuff, but that was put on by BayHep, and you meet with a lot of area industry leaders, and it's an interesting update when you go. Next thing that I attended was Economic Alliance, the Women's Alliance Luncheon. Met a lot of really interesting people in the oil and gas industry that support the port and port supporting companies. Also went to the Baytran State of the County yesterday, which was also interesting to hear that we have, Mayor Sweeney was there. Do you recall, was it 10 million people that they're expecting to move here in the next 3 years?
I do not recall that, but
It was a lot.
But the Galveston County judge called that bridge the Seabrook Bridge.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. It's a lot. It was a big number. Don't quote me on that. It could be wrong, but it was a lot. So they're doing a tremendous amount of infrastructure improvements. If you guys have driven down 225, you'll notice that there's some parts of the pavement that have been redone. So that's our County Commissioner, Adrian Garcia, hard at work. So we appreciate that. And they're expected to do more of those projects. So getting updated on that was an interesting one. And then upcoming this week is another luncheon for Economic Alliance that I'll be attending. And other than that, that's all I've got. Till next time.
Okay, thank you, sorry. Anything else? Thank you very much. Item 2.2, City Manager Update, report to City Council on various items that require no action, including Seabrook boards and commissions, transportation projects, capital projects, and other city projects.
All right, Mayor and Council, quick little photo there from our event this weekend that was wonderful on Pine Gully. Boards and commissions, so your Parks and Trails Committee met, we kind of highlighted prior to their meeting what their agenda was looking at. So they did look at general park matters, looked at the, still working on the Keep Texas Beautiful. If you recall, this is a $160,000 grant awarded to the city. The idea from the board right now is to erect some type of structure there at the 10th Street exit. So we are working on an RFP to go out, an RFQ for an engineering services. With the grant, the money stays with TxDOT, and this grant will then, they need a set of construction drawings that will go over to TxDOT. TxDOT will bid the project and manage the project. So we are tasked with getting an RFQ, get an engineer so we can get those plans over and get that project done. Other projects that they discussed, no action was taken, was the Carruthers Bayside Park and the donated property on NASA. For Economic Development Corporation, their agenda included formalizing the Merlion Incentive Agreement. So for $26,900, these next two items will come back over to City Council on your next agenda for council ratification. The next one that was approved is Neighborhood Tap. This one is a business that was looking to locate in the Edge for $200,000. So this will also be on your next agenda. Incentive discussion on Pomodoros was tabled, so no action was taken at this meeting. And they moved forward with doing approval to instruct the staff to issue a notice to intent of notice to cancel the incentive agreement with Seabrook Plaza 1 on $2 million. And finally, some time ago, there was a proposal brought to the EDC for around $16,000 for bollards, additional bollards that will finish out the 10th Street. The original design down there fell a little short of keeping people off of that area. So additional bollards and then adding chains along the 146 corridor. So updated pricing after other vendor did not work out. So that was approved and we're moving forward with that. On transportation, there's been a lot of activity finally at the Red Bluff intersection. We've had some overnight closures. If you do go north, sorry if you do have to go north. That's been a challenge, but the decking for us on the Red Bluff overpass is finally getting some significant headway. You can see that they've begun the sidewall construction. Talked to that contractor today. If you go northbound, you'll see that there are new northbound lanes that are constructed. They're approximately 5 feet higher than the existing lanes. So in the future, this project is slotted not to finish until 2028. So that northbound lanes that you're seeing, the brand new concrete will be the new northbound lanes that we will move over to. There's a bridge that's outside of our city limits. That's been a challenge, but they're constructing that as well. And then they said, do expect some future announcements as far as just outside of our city limits and our Red Bluff entrance changing a little bit sooner. They are trying to advance getting our Red Bluff entrance back up. And again, on this project, I don't have it on this slide, the plans are on the website and TxDOT's websites. We will get it shifts a little bit for your northbound entrance, and then down by the Geon plant, we'll have a change on the exit as well. So that's probably not going to happen until about 12 months from now, they said. So slowly but surely that project's proceeding. I've had several questions, and I know several of us are all kind of tapping on Harris County. So the last thing that staff has gotten on the project over there in Red Bluff is, obviously you can see the rail's been removed, and Brian's checked with them again. So they're expecting to have crews move back in, rip up the asphalt, put the concrete back in, and weather permitted, 2 to 3 weeks is what they're telling us as well. So. CIP updates. Last meeting, I discussed that we had just got in that night, or earlier that day at the last council meeting, the bids. So we do have 2 bids that we are still looking at for the pier from Orion and Trident. We've been in meetings with our engineer, and now we are moving over to finance and purchasing. We're having to go back through. There was some miscalculations, so we're having to go through those very carefully. We are projecting hopefully to have that package back to council June 2nd, but it may be June 16th. We want to make sure we fully vet that out. The East Meyer project, this is moving along. This is an image that is not fully updated. Both sections have been poured from 146 there at McDonald's all the way down to Aqua Vista. And so we have now completed that phase 1. And tomorrow, Public Works is reporting that we'll be switching back back in front of the fire station there to an actual 2-way traffic up to Aqua Vista. And then we'll move into phase 2. So if you drive that area, you can see that it naturally passed Harbor Cove and Aqua Vista. The asphalt that's still there, you'll start to see the milling on one side and start into phase 2. In this project, overall 6 months and they're doing well. Lyman, this is a smaller project. It did proceed. We have just about 3 to 4 homes at the end of that one, so we're working with the homeowners. There was some, they're planning on moving a trailer and stuff out, so we've worked with them and just barely starting that project. Oops. Down on Main Street, we did last time note that we had a TCEQ report. So if you can see, we've got a hole over there. There was boring samples sent over to TCEQ. So we were notified that there are some particles that they're finding in that. And so now we're waiting on the results from TCEQ on recommendations of what the next steps. Next steps could be digging deeper, removing additional contaminants, and so we won't know until we get that official recommendation back from TCEQ. So still more time required on this, but we did move to the TCEQ approval process, and they did find that there was some things in the report that they want us to do something further. So the tower, failed to put a picture in there, but obviously we had the ribbon cutting last night. It was fabulous, and we're excited to see what that project does for not only the fire department, but for other agencies and for our police department as well. The North Meyer project, this one is coming along. Again, I think I mentioned last time we walked it with our engineering group. They are probably further along than the 50% design. The interesting thing on this one is we will get some connectivity into the trail system from the 146 down by Tiki Seafood on into the park system. So hopefully in the next few months, we'll have an update on the percentage on this. This was intended that we'll get East Meyer completed before, obviously, we dive into our next construction. Both these projects will be reconstructing with a concrete base. Tonight, we'll speak a little bit of this. We're bringing forward the Rural Street preventive. Brian's, we may have to pull this item, but this, Brian, when it is presented, has a full presentation on what method this is and the streets that we'll be looking to go. Any questions?
Angela?
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you, we talked previously about the Texas Parks and Wildlife grants potentially being applied to for both the Bayside Park and the pier. So do we have any movement on that, or?
I went to, or attempted to go to one of their counseling sessions. So yes, Bayside Park is an optimal thing that we could apply for. We could also, what I'm also planning on coming back to skate park, pump track is another one that would be a good project for us to look at. So we're hoping to get the pier project bid award so that you guys could understand what your delta was as far as funding, and then we could look at what the next CIP project. But certainly, yes, the Bayside Park is what I'm looking at for that particular grant.
Perfect. And then the last question, also about a grant. We had spoken about the Lowe's community grant. Was anything done on that, or any action?
I do recall that you had sent that. No, there wasn't anything done on that one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. On to item 3, bid awards. Item 3.1, consider and take all appropriate action on awarding RFP number 2026-04, City of Seabrook Urban Planning Services to update the zoning ordinance project to Freeze and Nichols, Inc. with a base bid of $248,600, making them the best value bidder for the project and authorizing the city manager to execute the professional service agreement. Sean? Anybody have any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept? Council members? Yeah, Mike.
Make a motion to accept.
Number 2 makes a motion. Councilmember Sessa makes a motion to accept 3.1. Councilmember Tolet seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Raise your right hand. Opposed? None. Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Sean, for your presentation. Excellent. Yeah. Item 4, consent agenda for the new folks. I'll read all 3 items and then we'll take a vote. There's no discussion unless somebody wants to pull something. Item 4, consent agenda. Item 4.1, approve the minutes of the May 5, 2026 regular city council meeting. Item 4.2, approve the minutes of the May 13, 2026 special city council meeting. Item 4.3, consider and take all appropriate action on an agreement between the City of Seabrook EMS and CTRAC, the Southeast Texas Regional Advisory Council, to ensure Seabrook EMS can fully participate in CTRAC-supported programs and benefit from expanded regional capabilities. Have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3.
I have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second? From Councilmember Tolet. Councilmember Sanford seconds the motion. All in favor? Raise your hand. Opposed? None? Thank you. That was unanimous, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 5, new business. Item 5.1, consider and take all appropriate action on resolution number 2026-08, a policy to publish public information requests on the city's website, including open records requests from the preceding 2 years with monthly updates. Do I have a motion on 5.1 before we can?
Motion to approve.
Councilmember Sanford makes a motion. Do I have a second? Councilmember Tolet seconds. Okay, do we have any discussion? Summer, this is your agenda item. You want to tell us what it is?
So one of the things I like about Kima's open record requests is that they post them on their website. And what made me look into this is we had an email sent out to us and council that basically said that the city secretary's office is not able to take on any extra work at this time because they had so many FOIA requests at one time. So one of the things that I wanted to know is how much time is being spent on these FOIA requests and what is the cost to the taxpayers? So this entire idea of putting this on the website is to have total transparency. So what was found in looking into this is that when there is a open records request, and I want to preface this and say, I think open records requests from citizens is important. It needs to continue. This is in no way, shape, or form to encourage people to not pull open records requests, but I want everybody to know where the money's going when those happen. And I also want to cut down on, Gail, do you mind oh, you already pulled it? You're so quick. Okay, so I asked for the last 2 years to be posted on our website, and this is kind of an idea of what it will look like. We will have numbers that are attached to each FOIA request so that if we're having open record duplicate requests. So somebody will ask for one thing and then another person will ask for the same thing. And the way it's set up right now, it has to be done separate and it's taking a tremendous amount of time. Time is money, right? So whenever we look at how much these FOIA requests costs, less than 50% are paid by the requester. So I'm going to repeat that. Less than 50% are paid by the requester. So I believe it's $15 an hour, and correct me if this isn't correct, and 10 cents a page is what we charge, ideally. So the rest of that is paid by the taxpayers. The other thing that isn't taken into consideration is, yes, there are requests made, but sometimes those requests require legal counsel to look over the request to make sure that we are in alignment on what we can release, and that is 100% on the taxpayers. That is not passed on to the requester. So again, those legal fees are 100% on the taxpayers. Over the last 12 months, that total dollar amount has been $16,000. I asked to look into it to see how much that was. So if anyone wants to look at what requests have been made, they are currently on the agenda attachments. If they want to see any information in its entirety, what's great about our FOIA request system is called Just FOIA, that we can actually go to that item number and have it pulled for you very, very quickly. So I wanted that access and that transparency to be there so that everybody is on the same page on what's been pulled, how they access the information, and where the cost is coming to us as taxpayers. So is there any further I also was concerned about having this add more to their schedule, and I asked how long would it take you guys to do this on a monthly basis. She said about 10 minutes, and so I want to make sure that it's not going to create a situation where we have to have a whole nother person to actually post these requests, but I wanted to make sure that we had conversation about to see if you guys were in alignment on it.
Let's also discuss how anonymous are being handled. How are we getting the money from an anonymous FOIA request?
We actually had a tremendous amount of anonymous requesters. Gail, is there a way for you? Oh, okay. So can you flip, is this the very top of it? Can you kind of go down and show how many anonymous requests? So these are the past anonymous requests over the last 2 years. Many of these at the time were not charged because we didn't have a way to charge. What we ended up doing was we passed an ordinance on vexatious requests, and if someone has an anonymous request, they do now get charged for it. So that problem has been mitigated, if you will. So in an answer to your question, they are charged now, but they haven't always been charged until we passed that ordinance.
Is that accurate?
Is that incorrect?
Let me clarify. Yeah, you're not ready to talk yet because it's still thinking about letting you talk. I love that, just so you know. I really love that.
I don't know what to.
Wait,
Give it a minute. Give it a minute. Don't forget what you're going to say. There you go. There you go. You're good.
Okay. No, well, to clarify, anonymous requesters were always charged. It's just that before the ordinance, all the work was done and put into those requests by all of our departments and our staff. And then we would send the bill out and it would never get paid. So then it just was right, like that basically, yeah. So that's where that ordinance came. Now we're able to do a cost estimate in advance of actually having all the departments do the work associated with those requests. But they were actually always billed.
So that's another good point, is that whenever an open records request is brought forth, it's multiple different departments that act on it. It's our help me. How many departments do you guys have right now
Well, so
that are involved in that?
primarily these a lot go to finance, a lot go to the building department. Pretty much any department would
Okay.
request, depending on what it is. But I didn't know if PD also gets requests, but that's a separate.
So I didn't feel like
process.
PD needed to be a part of this because it's the redaction that is done by the secretary's office is a lot. It's even more so with police department requests. So I didn't add that as part of this agenda item. I mean, I guess we could discuss that, but I think that would be a lot to ask. So, and I don't think KEMA does that either. And I just,
I'll let Angela go next, but I failed to read this part of the resolution. PD is not in this request
correct.
because of.
Correct.
Angela?
So I appreciate anything that provides more transparency, because I feel like we have lacked that historically. My question in regard to this is, does this just list the request, or does it have the output on those outputs that were provided?
So the output is not.
You're not ready yet. You got to give it a minute.
Try to read that. Can I answer?
There you go.
Okay, so no, my understanding was these were the things to be included on the report. If you're looking for the actual documents that are going to be provided, that's going to cost staff a whole lot more time, because the system doesn't just do that. The system will produce this report pretty readily, but as far as everything that goes with it, it probably wouldn't
So I guess
be able to do that.
in that case, I don't understand this being very transparent, because it's not providing the actual information.
Okay, so just let me tell you the difference between the KEMA, for instance, because we mentioned KEMA. KEMA's FOIA system, they don't use just FOIA, they use a different system. Their back end, their staff system is weak. The staff has to do a lot more to put things together, but their front end system, that is their public facing system, is very robust. But it also doesn't show the results. It actually has you can click on the FOIA number and it'll be a pop-up of what the request is. Our Just FOIA system is very intensive on the back end, gives the staff a lot of detail and data, but it has a crappy front end. And so that's why they have to pull a physical report, and have it placed on the website, a filtered report. How are we going to filter that?
What I don't understand, I would be all in favor, and I would think this is a great thing if it reduced time that the city secretary and the team spent actually pulling the information. But just posting the information, the reason you see anonymous, and I know this because people have provided me that feedback, is that they're worried about public shaming. And so now you're listing their name publicly along with the request, but you're not actually providing the information that they're requesting. So this seems counterintuitive to me.
Would they be willing to pay for the output?
You're still not on yet. There you go.
Would they be willing to pay for the output? So if you're saying we're gonna ask for something, and then we want to produce the output, are we going, or is the recipient going to pay for that as well? Is that what you're thinking?
I'm just going to keep mine on.
Forever on.
Yeah,
What's going on with our microphones?
I don't know. We'll find out.
wow. Yeah, you're.
So from my,
Yeah.
I'll use my mom's voice. From my understanding, that output is already being paid for in general. So I guess the question, oh, there we go. The question would be if someone wants to go back and get that information, would they pay for the output again?
Okay, so let me explain why it would cut down a little time. It's because the FOIA request number is in this report. So if someone just wants to request what's in the report based on, hey, I asked for that same thing, that's easy to pull and get out to them.
So like if I wanted to see some information, I could just send you guys an email in the FOIA request saying, I'd like to see PIA 2025-908.
Then we can pull that up and get it out pretty quick.
And then I would have to pay for that information.
Well, that's the thing. Not if we can pull it and get it out quickly. It's already been, and that's my understanding. Would have to talk to Joseph a little more about that part. But if it's something that we can generate on a report pretty quickly, then no,
There wouldn't be an additional cost.
it's the labor.
We need to get a lot more clear view of what we're doing.
Yeah,
I agree. That we should be reviewing that and be a lot more specific about what we can and can't do. But I specifically want us to discuss anybody who is anonymous. In my opinion, an anonymous person should not be allowed to get information, in my opinion. But that's just me.
So they can by law, but have you checked with Just FOIA, I think you were going to see if they had, like for instance, they have a search function. If we put in the FOIA number, will the search results come out?
So I did.
Where's me?
So I did check with them, and they are working at something that's more forward-facing. So right now, it would, however, they aren't guaranteeing they can ever do that. So they would look at it, is what I'm told. But it would basically be just generating this report. The only thing they would be putting forward-facing is what is on this report, because that's really all you can put out there without it becoming a whole nother set of issues and work and all of that. These are the basic sets of information. That's why this was an example created. It is also what KEMA puts out. They also don't put out the responsive documents. They only put out this information. If someone wants that same information, they can request based on what they're seeing. So that's.
Does KEMA charge based on that request? It feels like legally you couldn't, because you charge based on the scope of work that's performed. And if that scope of work has already been performed and someone's paid for it, then you're double dipping.
So it makes it much more efficient and much more cost effective for.
So Angela is correct that you wouldn't charge, if somebody just pulled up that document, I want that FOIA request.
My understanding is, yes, it's
already been done.
It's the time you're putting in is what I've been told. It's that time you're gathering, you're producing, you're redacting. If that stuff's already together in a redacted form, then yes. If it's together, though, in an unredacted form, we would still have to put in that effort to get that done. It's going to be a case by case, but it would be usually quicker. Does that make sense?
So the only time it would be unredacted is if it was a council request.
If it was a council request, if in some cases you're requesting your own information, sometimes that isn't necessary, things like that. It'd be dependent, but most cases, it would be already redacted in its redacted form, I would say.
Would you have something else?
Just last thing. Okay. I appreciate the step forward. I'm of the same mindset of Councilor Tillett, that I think this needs to be flushed out a little bit further, and we just need to make sure we have all the details in order.
So we do have an ordinance in place, and in your agenda packet, there was, a resolution, and there was in your agenda packet some additional detail about the procedures, just for information. There's more green lights. Did you want to say something else?
No, I'm just afraid to turn it off.
Okay. Same thing with you, Melanie? All right. David, same thing with you? You're afraid to turn it off?
Having some technical.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I have a question about the anonymous post. I'm not a big fan of people doing stuff anonymously, but you had mentioned there's a state law that allows that? Is it a state law or city law? Or,
Yeah, the Texas Open Meetings Act allows for requesters to submit requests anonymously. So yes, they have the right to do that by state law.
They do, but when they're paying, they have to, there's records of who that anonymous person is, correct?
Or they could send a child.
There's ways around that.
If they have to pay for it.
If they can submit payments and payment plans, yes.
Okay.
Anything else? No? Green lights? No? They're fake. Okay. All right. We have a motion and a second. If there's no further discussion, we do need to take a vote. All in favor of 5.1 as presented? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Councilmember Sanford, Deemer, Mayor Tollett. Opposed? Rogers and Cervantes. Sessom is excused.
Mayor, for the benefit of council, I don't think there's any reason why we can't still take a harder look at this stuff. And if we think that some additional detail needs to be added to it, we'll bring it back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Item 5.2, consider take all appropriate actions on select a mayor pro tem for 2027 city council. Okay. So reading the detail, we don't have to do this because we have a runoff this year. We don't have to do this until the runoff. But we have to do it by the second meeting in June, which is the meeting after the runoff. So this is a kind of how, last year was our first time, and it was easy because Buddy was the senior guy. Now Tom's the senior guy, and he's leaving. So we're all in this together, right? Right? Is that not true?
I was recommending.
I'm going to move that we table this till after the next election.
All right, okay.
What, is that bad? What?
We'll until after the meeting after the recall. Mm-hmm. So we'll just pull this item for them.
I think so.
Runoff.
To the runoff recall.
What we meant.
Which is June 13th, so that's the very next Tuesday is that meeting, and then that way we'll have the full new council.
Yeah.
We'll use at that time.
I think that's better.
So just so you know, do we need a motion? We have a motion. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Opposed? None. Unanimous. Thank you. So the next time we'll just so you know, we'll take volunteers or voluntolds. Make a list and vote on them. Just that's how we'll do it. All right. Thank you. And so just no disasters between now and then, please. 5.3, consider and take all appropriate action regarding Resolution 2026-09, appointing a Capital Improvements Advisory Committee in accordance with Chapter 395 of the Texas Local Government Code to facilitate the evaluation and potential implementation of impact fees. A resolution of the City of Seabrook, Texas, creating a Capital Improvements Advisory Committee pursuant to Chapter 395 Texas Local Government Code, providing for membership, duties, and procedures, providing for reporting requirements. Sean, would you explain to us what that is, please, and why we need it?
So every 5 years, we go through a process of updating and doing a study to evaluate our impact fee process. Previously to the last legislative session, the state law would allow us to use our Planning and Zoning Commission as this advisory board. That was changed. And as part of the legislative change, it's now required that we create a special board for that group. The makeup of that board is at least 5 members, and there's a special makeup of that board. 50% of that board has to come from the building industry, real estate, or development industries. So what this resolution is just basically creating that board so that we can move forward. We're in the process currently of doing those studies. We're ready to start going through this evaluation process where this board will look at that. Basically what this board will do is twice a year they'll report to the council. They'll review the CIPs that are related to impact fees. They'll make sure that as we set those projects that it meets the criteria for impact fees to pay for those projects. And then they'll monitor those projects and there'll be a report twice a year. So that'll be the role of this body.
So the citizen members, the non-contractor members, had to be voting members of the city of Seabrook, but I didn't see any residency requirements as far as time. So will that just be under the normal application process, and then we'll pick 2 council members to interview them like we normally do?
It will be. So once this is approved, or if this is approved tonight, then we'll move forward with the creation of the board. We'll be advertising for those individuals. And again, the makeup is very prescribed, so we'll work through the process of advertising in a manner that hopefully we'll get candidates that will fall underneath that criteria.
Do we need to get 2 volunteers tonight for the chamber? No, we can do that later in our normal time. Okay, so then thank you. If I'll entertain a motion then.
One thing that I will ask
yeah.
as we go through the process, historically, you guys have assigned, or 2 council members have volunteered to be on the committee to kind of vet these applicants for our other boards and commissions. And if there's some volunteers or you guys can make some of those decisions tonight, I think that would be helpful, because like I said, this study's pretty much finished. It's time to move forward with it. We've done an RFQ recently for auditors, so this whole program has to be audited now as part of Chapter 395. So that's been advertised currently. So once we get all this moving, we're going to move pretty quick. So having that aligned will be helpful for us as staff.
Okay.
I have just one question or one clarification. As far as the residing residents that will be on the board, it has to abide by the city charter, the 12-month.
Yeah, we're going to have to comply with charter.
Yeah, so they have to live here for 12 months to be on this committee.
On a board or commission.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we're looking for 2 volunteers to help with the interview process.
Right. So but you said we didn't need, you just said we didn't need to do that tonight, but we can certainly.
2 different things. Board members, what he's looking for is people to help talk to potential.
Yeah, so if you guys
Non-elected
approve
board
this
members.
resolution tonight, what I'm looking for is 2 council members who you guys can appoint
I'll
to do
volunteer.
the
That's fine.
interview part of this process.
Let's get this approved first, and we'll volunteer, Jared.
Okay.
Do we have a motion to approve 5.3?
Motion to approve.
Councilmember Sanford makes the motion to approve. A second.
I'll second that.
Councilmember Cervantes seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? None? Okay, let's can we have 2 volunteers another volunteer besides Jared to interview and help with this?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, Angela and Jared. Thank you, Jared. That's what happens. Miss a meeting. All right. Item 5, thank you, Angela. Item 5.4, consider and take all appropriate action on the first reading of ordinance 2026-15, revision to personnel policies, Chapter 8, electronic communications, and adding Section 7, generative artificial intelligence, an ordinance of the City of Seabrook, Texas, amending the City of Seabrook personnel policies, Chapter 8, employee communications, Section 7, generative artificial intelligence, generative AI, by adding this section and making various findings and provisions related to the subject. Can I have a motion?
Second.
Councilmember Tolet makes a motion. Who's second? Councilmember Sanford, second. Any discussion, questions about generative AI? All in favor? Opposed? None? None, but unanimous. Thank you. Item 5.5, consider to take all appropriate action on the approval of an agreement with Water Smart Software, Inc., Vertex 1, for a 5-year agreement in an amount not to exceed $53,115.22, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement and associated documents. Is that our, Gail, is that our water, the customer facing?
Correct. That's the public portal that we mention it as Water Smart. They are changing to Vertex 1. So our contract with Water Smart's coming up. This is the renewal, and staff is recommending the 5-year renewal. This will be spread over 5 fiscal years. It's coming in just below what we've budgeted for Water Smart, and it doesn't have anything as far as startup. This will be seamless to the public with the new company going on.
Okay. We have a motion to approve 5.5. Don't forget your microphone, sir. There you go.
Approve 5.5.
Councilmember Tolet makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilmember Rogers seconds. Any discussion or questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
So this is the same software that we've been using, right? So normally when we renew these contracts, they have updates and new add-ons or new software updates that do more things than they did before. Is there anything that this particular software update will give us that we don't have now?
Brian, I'll let you backfill. No,
So,
to our knowledge,
let me ask more specifically. So right now, if we have a leak in our home, we get an email, correct? Okay.
And turn your mic on.
I think you have to be registered with the software.
It seems to me that everyone that pays their bill ought to be automatically. Is that not the case?
I don't think so. I think they have to actually sign up for it. Log in, create.
I think we need to know that, and we need to let our community know to do that. This is a huge benefit to people who go out of town, vacation, so on and so forth. It has happened to us.
Yeah.
And so I know this is a great benefit, and so it would be great for our community to know what they need to do, or they need to just be able to sign that says automatically, are signed up.
I think we can do a public announcement too, social media posts. If you have to actually sign up for it, we can do something like that.
That was all I had.
We don't have the ability to print on the back of our water bills anymore, do we?
We have like 2 lines of print that we can look at that. We're looking at a larger bill template that we can put more information on for, reasons like that. But right now, we're still stuck on just the postcard.
Right. That'd be a great spot for it.
Mm-hmm.
That larger bill, will that be brought to council for discussion?
We just started looking at that. They're going through, utility billings going through the migration upgrade in Encode now. So we've got different modules in the enterprise fund. So we did the general ledger upgrade to version 10, HR, payroll, now utility billings going through that. So the migration said don't change anything on that. And so we are just literally looking at that. It's not anything permanent. I think we will be coming back because it would have a contract associated with it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see some cost differences on that. And a lot of places are migrating away and trying to get patients, sorry, I'm in work mode, to sign up for paperless billing. So I'd just like to see numbers before we move that direction.
Yeah, and you can, right now, you can be paperless if you go in, register. So not everybody's generated for a bill, so you can already go paperless now. The postcard, one of the things that we were looking at, there is a lot of personal identified information on your water bill. So if you elect to get the postcard without an envelope attached to it, there's a couple of pieces of information on there that's just open. So, but we can bring that back and have a larger discussion on it. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, all in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you. All right. Item 5.6, consider and take all appropriate action on the approval of task order number 4 for professional landscape architecture design services under the Master Professional Services Agreement, PSA, between the City of Seabrook and Duplantis Design Group, DDG, for the Carruthers Coastal Gardens East Track at an amount not to exceed $50,000 and authorize the city manager to sign all associated documents. Let me do this one in the right order. Let's get a motion first and then we'll discuss. We have a motion for 5.6.
Motion to approve.
Councilmember Sanford makes the motion. Councilmember Tillett seconds. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Pretty straightforward. Electrical, landscape design for the coastal gardens. All right, hearing none. All in favor? Opposed? None? Unanimous? Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Item 6, executive session. Item 6 we're pulling 5.7. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. That'll come out back at a future meeting. Item 6, executive session. 6.1, adjourn into a closed executive session per Texas Government Code Section 551.071. Consultation with attorney regarding legal matters. And I believe we're going upstairs, Gail? Go upstairs? Yeah. That where the snacks are.
We going upstairs?
I'm going to explain. I neglected to say that we adjourned to executive session at 7:30.
No, you did.
I did, and we are returning at 8:30. No business being conducted. Here is my envelope. I would like to, I did get an explanation. We had a team of IT professionals come in while we were in executive session and determined that the microphone system is set up so if more than 4 are turned on, more than 3 are turned on at one time, that the other ones blink. So it's a waiting mode. So
if we want somebody to be quieter,
So blinking.
we turn it all on.
So if we, right, so if we would
Now I'm on.
discipline ourselves, including the city attorney, would discipline ourselves to, if someone is speaking, one person who would like to speak next, and I will pay attention to that person, can turn their light on and do it like that. And it'd be nice, I appreciate it.
So if we really want to
Wait,
confuse you,
because I can turn them off from here, so.
we just all turn them on.
Wait, I'm going to turn, see, I just turned you off. I turned her off. All right, thank you very much. Item 7, open session. Council reconvene in open session to allow for possible action on any agenda items. There were no action. Item 8, routine business.
Mayor and council, your next regular scheduled meeting is scheduled for June 2nd. That will take place at the Public Works Building due to our early voting on the runoff election being in this room.
Okay, thank you very much. There being no further business for this council, we'll adjourn at 8:34. Thank you all very much for staying. Okay, I'm glad we got